Hello everyone and welcome you all to another chapter of the t-shirt design in Illustrator. Okay, so now we are on our chapter number 6 and here I'll be showing you guys how you can actually design a wavy text t-shirt. Okay, I'll be showing you guys all the steps, how you can align your words, how you can use the rulers, how you can actually transform, give those things a shadow as well. We'll be learning about all of that in detail here in this particular class. So let's not waste time and let's get started with this chapter of Wavy text t-shirt design. So here, as you guys can see, I am here in the homepage of the Adobe Illustrator. And now what I'll do is I'll just click on this new file from here. And now I will type Wavy text t-shirt. Okay, so I'll just rename this one. And in pixels, what I can do is I'll just change the width. Okay, so I'll just take 500 for width, and for height, maybe I will take something around, so I'll take 600. Okay, and as I do have this thing over here, I do have a blade of 10 pixels. Okay, in all the sides, CMYK color mode, raster effect is 150 ppi. Okay, everything else is fine. This is not a big page. Okay, so I do have a small page round of over here. Okay, so it won't be a problem if I want to print any big logo, because in that case, as this is a vector based, so here I'll be able to save that vector and I can actually increase the size later on. Okay. So now, as you guys can see, am here in the workspace. So first thing we need to notice that I do have my smart guides on. So here, as you guys can see, I do have my smart guides on. And here, if we want to put any kind of rulers or anything as such, we can actually put those rulers here as well. So the first thing, I want to create some of the color palettes. Okay, so here I do have the color code, and what I want to do is I want to create some color palette over here. Okay, so I will make some boxes. Okay, so I'll just make a box over here. Take my selection tool and now click on Alt and mouse and just make your own color palette. So maybe I'll just make 6 boxes out here, which I'll use for my retro wavy t-shirt or this wavy text t-shirt. So now I do have these 6 boxes, and what I'm going to do, I do have this few of the code saved, and now I can just put those colors kind of right there. Okay, so if I just select this text over here, I will just save this one. Okay, I'll just click on Control C and I'll come here and I will just do Control V over here and I'll just click OK. And here you guys can see I do have this box, and the same way I will do for all of this 6. Okay, so here, as you guys can see, I do have this kind of blue color. And now, as you guys can see, I'll just repeat the same process over here. Control V again and enter. And here you do have another color. So I have taken some dark colors as well. Okay. And if you want to use kind of gradient colors, you guys can always use those options as well. Okay. Those are few of the great options for using colors. Okay. So again, I'll come here, Control V, enter. Okay, so I do have this color over here. I will select this one and I will come here again. Okay, this color palette, Control V, and I'll just click on enter. So here you guys can see again, I do have this color. So I'm just left with 3 more colors because I won't be using much of it. Okay, like I won't use so much colors here, but you guys can obviously use. Okay, so you guys are allowed to use as many colors as you want if you want to make it more attractive. And make sure that when you're choosing your color palette, that time you are actually checking it before you use. Okay, so make sure that you check what color goes with which one properly. So according to that, you guys can actually select colors. So I'll just click on enter, and this is my last color. Okay, so I'll just come here, Control C, and I'll just come here, Control V over here and just click on OK. So here, as you guys can see, these are the 6 colors which I am going to use. So I'll just group this thing up, and I'll just keep this thing kind of here in one side. Okay, again, now I'll ungroup all of this. Okay, as I'll be selecting the colors individually. So here, as you guys can see, I do have 6 color on one side. And now what I want to do is I want to add some text around. So for I'll come here in the text option. And from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down a text. So what I should write, and I'll just write waiting for, or I'll just come here, waiting, and I'll just write for. I'll click enter, and again, I'll write here holiday. Okay, so I'll just write these things up. And what I can do is I want to change the characters of this thing. First, I will just increase the size of this one, and I'll just select this selection tool, bring this one kind of here in the center. Okay, and I will just select all this again, and here, as you guys can see, this is the character box. And here also in my properties panel, you guys can see I do have my character box here as well. So the first thing what I want to do is I want to align this thing, okay? So for me, I will just try to align this thing. As you guys can see, it is being aligned right now. And what I can do is, as you guys can see, I do have some gaps over here. And I'll select and change the character again. Okay, so I will just select this text box. I'll come here, I'll go to my character, and right now actually I'm using the Essential Classic workspace. So I will come here, and from here I will search. Okay, so I'll just search abstract. Okay, so I'll just type abstract groovy. Okay, so I will just select this one. Okay, you guys can select a different one, but I'll just select this abstract groovy letter. And as you guys can see, I do have this thing over here. Okay, but as you guys can see, this thing is not properly aligned over here. So if I want to actually get alignment, or I'll just go back again. So here, if I want to get any alignment, what I can do is I can just activate my ruler. Okay, so you can just click on Control R from your keyboard, and here you guys can see I do have a ruler. Okay, on both the sides. And if I again click on Control R, here you can see I don't have my rulers anymore. So I'll just on my ruler just to get a good view. So what I'll do is I'll come somewhere around here, and as you guys can see, I do have my ruler. And what I'll do is I'll just try to zoom in. Okay, I'll just keep this thing over here in the W. So now here again, I'll put another ruler on this particular side, and I'll click on my mouse, and with this one over here, like with the Y, what I'll do is I'll just put another rulers over here. So here, as you guys can see, I do have my rulers, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to align this thing up. So I'll just take my text tool. From here, I will select this word, and what I'm going to do is I am going to increase the size a little bit. Okay, so I'll just try to align this thing over here, and as you guys can see, so if I just want to move those guides up, I can move those guides up from here. Okay, again with my text tool, what I can do is I can just select this thing up, and now if I want to decrease the size, I can actually decrease the size. And if you want to decrease the leading, you guys can also decrease the leading from here. Okay, but before, I'll just work with this thing. Okay, or I'll just select this one, and now I will select the size. Okay, so I'll just select the size quite like this. So again, I will come here, and I'll increase the size, and I'll just try to align this thing properly. Okay, so I'll just come here, and I'll just align this one. And what I can do is, if I want to increase the box size, or if I want to increase the letter size, I can do that individually. So here, as you guys can see, this kind of looks good. And now if I want to change the tracking, I can actually change the tracking here as well. Okay, so I'll just select this text again. I will just work on with the text first the way I want. So I'll just increase this thing a little bit. Okay, so I'll just decrease by 2. And yeah, this kind of looks good. And now what I'll do is I'll just bring this one front. So again, I'll just select my selection tool, select this whole thing over here. Okay, all this thing. And now what you can do is you can just decrease the spacing. Okay, so I'll just go back again. Okay, so here I will just come back somewhat like this. Okay, so here I can actually manage the line somewhere from here. And now what I can do is this line looks quite good. And now I'm going to increase, or I'll just go on top a little bit. Okay, so here as you guys can see, I am coming here. And again, I will select this one. And here I will just go a bit down. And the last thing, I'll come here. And what I'll do is I will come a bit down here as well. Okay, so yeah, this thing kind of looks good right now. As you guys can see, I will select this one and I will delete this. Okay, I'll take this guide and I'll delete this one here as well. So now this font kind of looks good. And now I want to give color to all of this, okay, according to the 6 colors. So I'll be putting 6 colors, and for the shadows, I'll be giving a black color. Okay, again, select this text tool over here and select this one. And what you can do is you can just come over here. Okay, you can just come over here. And now if you want to give this first color, in that case, what you can do is you can just come here and delete this one, come here in my notepad, and as you guys can see, I do have this code Control C, and I'll again come over here and I'll give Control V over here and I'll click on OK, and that have been changed its color. So I'll just come here again and I'll go to this fill option over here and I'll just click on enter, or I just have to copy and paste again. So I'll just come here, Control C, double click, Control V, and enter. Okay. And the same way, I will take this words and I will do here as well. Okay. So again, I will come over here. Okay. Take this one, Control C, double click, and Control V here and enter. So as you guys can see, I am changing all these colors over here. So I'll be changing this according to the way I want, whatever looks good. Okay, so I'll again select this one, come here and Control C, double click, Control V, enter. So here, as you guys can see, I will just finish all this thing up, then we'll start. So here you guys can see I'm done here with the coloring. Okay, so I have now used all these 6 colors in my text down here. So now what I want to do is I want to give some black strokes. So for that, what I'll do is I'll come here and what I'll do is I'll just select black. I'll just click on OK. And what I'm going to do is I will come here in my appearance panel. Okay, so I'll just come here in the appearance panel. So if I'm not able to see the appearance panel, so for that I will come here and you guys can see I do have my appearance panel right over here. And as you guys can see, if I just zoom this thing out, I can just view this one. So here, as you guys can see, I do have this one, the appearance, and also different graphic style. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some stroke over here. So now from here, I will create another new stroke. Okay, so as you guys can see, I have added a new stroke over here. And what you can do is once you are over here, and now I will come here, add a new stroke. And what I'm going to do now here is I want to add a color to this stroke. So I'll just come here and by default only I'll just add this color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a stroke of 4 or kind of 3. Okay, 3 also looks good. And what I can do is I want to bring this stroke panel down under the characters panel. Okay, so I'll just bring this one. Okay, so I'll just keep this one over here. And as you guys can see, this is how it actually looks right now. Okay, as you guys can see now, I do have my stroke under this character option. If I want to give a different color, I can just give a different color to my stroke here as well. If I just increase my stroke, okay, I can just increase my stroke from here as well. Okay, so I'll just give this color also. This color is also not bad. So here, as you guys can see, I do have this groovy kind of an effect. And what I'll do is I'll just select this whole thing again. And now if I want to give it some other effects, I will come here in the effects panel. And from here, I will go to distort and transform. And from there, I will go to the transform options. And here you guys can see I do have here in pixels. So maybe I'll just give 1 pixels over here and 1 pixel over here as well. Okay, so I'll just give 1 pixel over here. Okay, I will try to see a preview. Okay, so here as you guys can see, I can just basically see a preview. If I want to increase this thing, suppose if I want to make it 5, okay, and here also I will choose 5 and I'll just preview from here. You guys can see I can just do that from here as well. Okay, so I'll just click on OK. From here, as you guys can see, now I do have this kind of effect right over here. And what I can do is I can just come here, select this one. So here again, I will create another stroke. So for that, I'll click over here. And what I can do is I will just bring this stroke again underneath. Okay, underneath the characters. So here, as you guys can see. And again, what I can do is I will just select this thing over here and go to effects and I'll just go to distort and transform. And from transform, here I will just select 3 pixels and here 3 pixels as well. Okay, so here you guys can see the preview. Now it's kind of bold. Then I'll just click on OK over here. And if I just want to off the transform, I can just off the transform and I can just basically, if I double click, I can just play around with this thing again. So I'll just click on OK over here. And as you guys can see, I'll just keep this thing here. And you guys can see I do have the letter ready. Over here, I'll just move this thing quite a bit. Then now I'll just zoom out. And here I will just copy this thing. Okay, if I just make any mistakes that I can actually get this thing back. Or in another type of text, if I want to put, I can put that. So for that, I just need to click on Alt. And I will just duplicate this one here in one side. And as you guys can see, I do have this particular words. Now, what I'll do is I want to give them some wavy effect. Okay, so I'll just try to give them some wavy effect over here. So let's start with that. So now once this thing is selected, what I'm going to do is I'll just come here in the object and here from the object, I'll just choose the envelope distort. And here, as you guys can see, I do have different options. But from here, what I'll do is I'll select the make with wrap. Okay, so I'll just select this one over here. And as you guys can see, this thing is kind of distorted. And here under the style, what I can do is I can come here and I can just select wave. Okay, so here you guys can see this thing quite looks great. And if I want to uh, increase or decrease the distortion horizontally or anything as such. I can do that from here. So I'll just keep 0%. And here I can just increase the blend from here. Okay. And this is how I can just see a preview of this thing of how this one actually looks. Okay. So what I can do is I can just click on OK. And from here, again, I will just click on Alt and I can just keep this thing here in one side. Okay. So here this thing kind of looks good. And if you want to increase or decrease spacing between layers, especially if you want to decrease that, then what you need to do is you need to go one step backward. Like you need to go here in the appearance panel. And once you select this one, you guys can come here. You guys can go to that page. Okay, so if you just select this one, okay, so I'll just delete this and I'll just select this thing. And if I just come here in the appearance panel, so from here now, if I try to choose any, okay, so if I just try to choose any, here you guys can see I do have these characters and a lot of things, and I can just off the transform in that case once I select the whole frame. So for that, that is how you can work out. And I'll show you guys if you want to change these letters how you can do that. So from here, basically, you guys need to do it letter by letter. Okay, so from here, I will just uh, come here and I will just select from here, okay, one layer. So I'll just come over here. And if I want to do that, I can actually do that. So I'll just zoom in a little bit and I'll just come here on this side. Then I'll just go on top. Okay, so here I will just go here on top. And as you can see, they do have a mesh here as well. If you want to view that, you guys can also view that from your windows. Okay, so I will come here. Okay, so that one was envelope. Okay, so from here also I can just view those things up if you want to view it. Okay, so I'll just delete this particular text which I have over here if I wanna work around here with any text or any effects. I can actually work around with that. I'll select it with this tool over here, and now I will just bring my text box down. And from here, if I come to this H over here, so instead of H, what I can do is I can just write T and I'll just come here and I'll just write TRE, or I'll just come here TRE, and again I'll just change this stroke. So I'll just come here, I'll write A or TRE and come to this I position, write A and write somewhere here T. And what I can do is I can just come here, or I'll just move this thing a little bit. I can just come here and I can just write treat. Okay, so I'll just write somewhat like this. And this is how it will actually look. Now, if I just zoom out, so this is how you guys can actually change uh, the font. You can actually use the same thing. Just because of the color, you have to do it one by one. Otherwise, it will get messed up. Okay, so if you want to use different color palettes, you guys can also use that. Just you need to start it from the beginning. So this is the design which I have. So now after this, what I'm going to do is I'll come here and I will try to make some flowers, okay, around this where I'll put. So for that, what I can do is I can select my ellipse tool, and with my ellipse tool, I'll just zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I'll just zoom in quite a bit over here. And now I will try to create some ellipse. Okay, so here, as you guys can see, I have created that ellipse. I will just decrease the stroke, and now what I'm going to do is I will decrease this somewhat like this. Now I'll select this one, and what I'll do is I will just create a circle. So I'll just click on Alt, and here I will just bring this thing somewhat like here. Okay, so I'll just bring this thing quite over here. And again, I will just create another circle. So from here, I will just try to create another circle somewhere over here. And what I can do is I can just position this one. Okay, I'll just position this thing accordingly. So I'll select this path, and now I will just try to select this, and I will try to keep this here in the front. And now what I'll do is if I want to decrease the size, so in that case, I will select this one, and likewise, I can actually decrease the size from here as well. And I'll select this one, I'll click on Alt, and I'll just intersect from this side as well. So here, as you guys can see, I have intersected from this side. I'll just click on Alt. Okay, so I'll just select this one. I'll click on Alt, and again, I will take another box somewhat over here. And what I can do is if I want to give this thing a rotation, so I will just give this thing a rotation quite down here. Select this one and just put that here in this. And again, what I'll do is I'll take this box from here. I'll click on Alt. Okay. And I will just duplicate another layer. Okay. Give this thing a rotation, and what I can do is I can just come here, and now I will just place this thing according to this one here as well. Okay, so I'll just put this thing somewhere here in the center. And the same way again, I'll just click on uh, one particular thing, just click on Alt. Okay, so just click on Alt from here. And now I'll give this thing a rotation quite like this. And I'll place this somewhat over here. Okay, so I'll just place this thing over here. And again, I will just take another box, click on Alt. Okay, and I will just duplicate this layer, give this thing a rotation on the left hand side. And what I can do is I can just come somewhere over here. And what I can do is now I'll just zoom in. So once I have zoomed in, what I'll do is I'll select this whole layer, and now I will come somewhere right around here, and here using my shape builder tool. Okay, so here I do have my shape builder tool. What I can do is I can just select the areas which I want for my flower. Okay, so I'll just select this layer and here as well. Okay, I'll select this layer. So I'll just join all the layers which I just want from here. Okay, so I'll just join those things up. And as you guys can see, I do have joined this. And what I'm going to do is I will come here, and now I will just select a few of these layers down from here. So I will just join these layers over here, or I can just come here again. Okay, I'll come here and I'll select this one, and I will only delete this thing. Okay, so I can just click on the shape builder tool again. Okay, so here I do have the shape builder tool, and now I'll just click on Alt, and here you guys can see a minus. So I can just minus other places out. Okay, so here as you guys can see, I can just click on minus. So here you guys can see I can just click on minus over here. I'll just click on minus, and I'll minus this part, this one here. Okay, all of this I will try to just delete from here. Okay, so these are few of the basic ways of how you can actually delete. Okay, and how you can actually create one shape. So we do have few of the things left which I'll just show you right after some time. Okay, so here as you guys can see, so first I will just finish this up. It might take some time just to, if you by mistakenly select all of this. Okay, make sure that you guys again just click on Control Z, and here if I want to click plus, here you guys can see I can just click plus all to these points. Okay, so here as you guys can see I can just click plus, And now here I will again click minus somewhere here. I'll select this one and here I will click on this, click this layer again. Okay, so I will just trim this thing totally up. So I'll just trim this down over here. And as you guys can see, I do have my layer over here. So now what I can also do is I can just create a shape. Okay, so I'll just create a shape over here. And now I will just keep this thing here in the middle. And what I'll do is I will select this particular shape and I'll just give this a fill color. Okay, so from here, maybe I will just give this thing a yellow. Okay, so I'll just give this thing a yellow from here. And now what I'll do is I'll come here. Okay, and now I will just add a red to it. Okay, so I'll just come here and I'll just take a red color, uh, something like this. Okay, as you guys can see, I have taken this red, and here in the center, I will just take a lighter yellow. So as you guys can see here, I do have my colors. So now if I just click on both of this, okay, I will just group this thing up. And with my shift, I can just get this thing sized down. Okay, so I'll just zoom out a little bit from here. And now with my shift, if I want to increase the size, I can just increase the size from here. I will just duplicate this layer from here as well. Okay, so I will just take four kind of like this. Okay, so I'll just take four of this thing over here. And what I can do is I can just give this thing a rotation. And now I can just place this thing around. Okay, so here I will just place one over here. Right click, go to arrange, and I'll just send this thing to back. Okay, so as you guys can see, I have sent this thing to back. And now if I want to use some different colors, I can come here. I will just ungroup all this. If I want to just select this color, and if I want to give something quite like this, and this outer layer instead of red, if I just select any blue color or any kind of green color, okay, I can do that from here as well. So again, I'll come here and I'll group all of this again. So I will just decrease the size from this end using my shift, that it decreases the size proportionally. So here, if I want to give any rotation, I will give some rotation from here. Okay, and I'll just send this thing to back. Okay, so I'll just send this thing to back, and this is how it actually looks. So you guys can just work things out. Okay, and this is how you can actually make this t-shirt design. So I won't change much of the color over here. You guys can actually put the way you want. Okay, arrange, and I'll just send this thing to back. So this is how it looks. Okay, if you wanna change anything, you guys can always come up over here. If you wanna give some more rotation, you guys can always give some more rotation. If you wanna change its positioning, you guys can change its positioning from here as well. Okay, so as you guys can see, if I just come somewhere over here, this is how it's going to look. So here I do have my design ready. Now what I can do is I can just select this whole thing up, and I can just group all of this. Okay, so now I will just click on shift and I'll just decrease the size. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to import image just to show you guys a mock-up. So as you guys can see, I do have I'll just do it on top of a black t-shirt. Okay, so I will just come here. I will take a black t-shirt. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the t-shirt somewhat here. Okay, so as you guys can see, I do have my logo. I'll take this t-shirt and I can just increase the size. Okay, so I will just increase the size from here and I'll just change the width here as well. Select my final logo and just decrease the size proportionally. And what I can do is I can just put this thing here on top of my black t-shirt. Or I can just move this thing up, right click, go to arrange and bring to front. Okay, so now I do have this particular logo here on my t-shirt. If I wanna decrease the size, I can decrease the size and I can just place all this accordingly. So this is how you can actually create a wavy text t-shirt. So see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye, and keep on practicing all this in your system and that you can master, and just use new designs here as well.